Previously on Windows, Mirrors, and Sliding Doors.
If you could take anything from that time when you were 20, 30 years old and dating and incorporate it into your dating life now, what would that be?
Right. I don't know that many of us were ever taught how to court.
That's interesting.
So if I had to take some of my knowledge now and go back to my younger self, right, I think that would be great.
And I you know my dress at home, you know my dress at work. Why I don't get no candies and flowers? I don't understand. What is that about?
You know, it's not like a chivalry, but it's like, what happened to that courting? Welcome to Windows, Mirrors, and Sliding Doors. I'm Danny.
And I'm Lynn.
So I'm going to say this. Dating after 40, what does that look like? How about dating after 50?
Oh, so, hallelujah.
I just turned 50. Oh, yes, well, happy birthday.
Yay.
How wonderful you look.
Thank you.
So I'm going to tell you, I'll share in this Queen's Court what I experienced. I experienced the men who have either been married, and then they come with their past experiences. And it never is ever anything good. It's always, you can present with something that will remind him of the former relationship or the previous marriage. And all women all of a sudden become this negative thing. Yeah. And that's what I've been encountering. The men who are trying to develop a relationship with me and bringing their past experiences and always the negative into it.
And sometimes it's hard for them to show emotion because of their journey. Showing emotion is a sign of weakness in certain situations.
And particularly in certain cultures. What have you experienced?
I've had that experience. I've been guilty of that myself, but I have caught myself doing it, like, ooh, there's a sign. I should have caught it with the last one. I didn't catch it with this one. And it just puts up a wall.
Right.
And, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, God has revealed, pay attention.
Right.
But it's already strike one. And it's how do you learn to turn that defense mechanism off? It's like you want to be aware, you want to engage with this individual, right, and not hold them at fault for characteristics that might be common. But it's a hard thing to turn off. But you're right. I find that men do it, but they won't admit they do it.
This is true.
Where I can admit, you know, can't do this, and I can even tell you at some point later if I continue to get to know you what I thought at a certain time. But I do find, like you said, they kind of come with baggage, right, and they're not always aware of it.
Or they don't want to acknowledge
when it's right.
Right. They don't want to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
They see it. They know it's there.
To acknowledge it,
right.
Right.
I kind of appeal to the West Indian population, and let me tell you something about them. They are alpha all day, and they're not necessarily apt to presenting with emotion. They will not let you know if something has hurt their feelings. What's up with that? Why can't we all just be honest with each other, share what we're feeling, this way we can work it out together if we're to enter a relationship together?
I think you just kind of hinted on something really key that you said, feelings, because that's the key. Because I think as you get older, well, me personally, I think you have to express your emotions more. You have to be, if you want to be in a committed, loving relationship, you got to be able to talk. And absolutely. I mean, part of communication, it is communication, but all a part of it is feelings too, emotions. You have to be willing to give. And I just know from my experience dating older, you know, whether they're older or I'm being, I guess you could say,
be free, girl, be free.
Go there.
Yes,
absolutely.
I don't know what you call it, you know.
No judgment here. It's a no judgment Queen's Court.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, you get the scared to commit thing, you know, like. For me, you know, a lot of times when I meet gentlemen, you know, they look on the outside. You know, it's all, you know, and I understand visual is part of it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to be attracted to a person, but it's not all about, for me, it's not all about the outside, okay? Like, get to know me, ask me some questions, get to spend time with me. If you don't develop quality, you know, you're not going to have a relationship.
Absolutely.
I mean, You know, and that's why I think a lot of women, especially when we're older, we're all doing our own thing, we're being successful, we're paying our own bills, taking care of ourselves, and you're just looking for quality. At this point in my life, I'm looking for quality.
Like, you're looking more for companionship,
yeah,
somebody to enjoy
right,
your time with.
Right.
You know, you're not trying to build anything or...
Right,
you know.
I don't need you to pay my car note. I don't need you to, I mean, well, personally,
right,
I was about to say, wait a minute now. I need you to.
But anyway,
Don't need you to, but
thank you.
You come with a certain level of independence.
Right.
Yes, and it's hard to put that shield down, and for me, it's hard to put that shield down and share. It's not that the term I can do bad by myself is kind of like a mini mantra that keeps going in my head. So it's not that you have to take care of me, but bring something to the table.
Right,
100%.
or just be my partner. I'm looking for
just
a
let's
partner,
be equals.
You know?
A lot
Yeah,
of people
you know?
don't know how to share.
Right, you
You know
know.
what?
Or
Build
like
on
that was
I
a perfect
said-
word. I would love a partner.
Yeah,
Agreed.
build on that, because that is something that's very key for me. What does that look like? A partner at this age, beyond 40, over 50, what does that look like? A partner.
I mean, I think a partner is somebody who builds you up. You know, it's, you know, where you're growing together. You have things in common. Maybe there is something you want to do together, build a business, you know, maybe you want to get to a certain level in life, but also that person has your back. You know what I mean? That person holds you up spiritually, mentally.
A support
and
system.
the sex, you know, it's gotta be.
Gotta be born. Got to be born. Sorry.
Okay, I think that's another problem in dating over 40.
They lazy.
I was about to say, I'm not willing to settle on that either. When it's not good, I don't want to break it down to you. I'm just going to walk away and move on to the next one.
You know, I'm not dead. You know, it's like I need a little something. You know, a little mystery. I need a little, you know, fantasy.
Right, romance.
So for the
romance
purposes
is always
of
Fire and desire.
and the viewers, because we have New Nick, who is she's an avid viewer of ours. New Nick, hello, we're here for you.
Hey, girl.
She sent me a message this morning, said, let's talk about sex. So I will ask Lynn first, my co-host, my lovely co-host, to talk about it. Lynn, how important is sex at this time?
On what scale? 100? 1,000?
No, how important is it to you, the building of a relationship and having a relationship with a guy?
Don't judge me, y'all, but sex is very important. It's...
I agree. Hallelujah.
Start thinking about it. I'm coming around the room.
that is part of. Okay, I need to be mentally attracted to you. I need to be able to have a conversation with you. But we have to be. For me, I'm talking for myself. We have to be sexually compatible. We have to be. Okay, because in that realm, a lot of things happen. In that room, we're relieving each other's stress. We're making each other feel comfortable and relaxed. And that energy is flowing between the two of us. You understand what I'm saying? And when I have a hard day, I need to come home and be in my man's arms and release all of the day's worries. I need good sex.
I agree. How about you, Miss Chandra?
I agree too.
I second the motion.
But I mean, yeah, you definitely want somebody who's gonna, I mean, make love to you, your body, but your mind too. You know what I mean? Take you on another journey, so to speak.
And I think that's the difference between dating at our age and dating back when you're 20s and 30s. Sometimes you just like, I just want what I want, what I need for the moment.
Right.
At this point, you want a combination of things, and that's kind of where you come from the not settling part. It's like, well, he doesn't have this, this, and this part, so I'm not interested in that part. But being compatible is so important.
Okay.
Oh, I can clap hands.
Definitely.
That.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question. If
I really wanted to share what I thought about sex.
you are so right. I'm sorry. I just don't want to lose my
It's so
thought.
important. It's so important.
I'm gonna write it down. Go ahead.
Right. So, at this age, over 50, halfway to 60, sex is super important, but I got to be honest with you, it always has been. It was important in my 20s. It was important in my 30s. It was important in my 40s. And it's definitely important now. Because as you said, that's a way for me to come in and leave the world outside. That's a way for me to expend all of that stress that is covering me. So this way I'm armored up for the next event.
Right.
At work, having to deal with staff and having to deal with challenges, issues with finances and different things like that. That's the greatest stress reliever for me. And I tell you, when it's good, I always say, God, thank you for it.
Wait, I want to ask a question real quick though.
Wait, ask it, baby.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so, how do you feel when? Because I'm speaking as
Well, you asking the right person.
Yeah.
You talking
So,
about
no,
sex.
I'm asking everybody there.
Yes, girl.
When you're with somebody and you're like at over 50, you're like, people think you don't have the stamina
right.
and you can't. But
Okay,
you're. Sometimes some people do,
And when he doesn't?
But when you get rolling, you're like, he can't even keep up. Like,
Right. What do you do? But
That's the question.
That's
for
a whole
the-
nother level of
and that ties
Okay.
into a question I was going to ask too. Does size matter?
Stay tuned for the next episode of Dating After 40 on windows, mirrors, and sliding doors.